It's Friday, November 7th, just 2 weeks away from Ferg defending his championship against Blue Ghost at AEW Full Gear. I'm Ian Fox, joined as always by my best friends Joe and Brett, and today we get into why Dirty Dom is the best thing on Saturday Night Main Event and Raw, but let's be honest, it still doesn't come close to what AEW is putting out right now. We're also diving into the tournament for John Cena's last match, and trust me, once you hear why it can't be Edge, it's going to break your wrestling heart. And finally, Brett's promo is looking like Grande Americana this week because we thought there was only one, but we get more. Let's go.
I don't like this. No. Okay. That was very safe.
Let's start with Saturday Night Main Event. What are your opinions at this point since the show was last Saturday?
They obviously do not give a crap about Saturday Night Main Event as a whole and putting it on Peacock.
I heard one of the reasons they brought back Saturday Night Main Event in general was just to fulfill the amount of pay-per-view events for the Peacock contract. So because there's so many, you can do a lot more Saturday Night Main Events than any other like named pay-per-view. So it got them out of their contract earlier and able to make the deal with ESPN. Because of things like that, the product obviously suffers when it's already suffering as far as entertainment value goes. Like the WWE Championship started the pay-per-view, and I can't name a good pay-per-view that the WWE Championship was ever defended at the beginning. Not the first time, won't be the last time, but it's never a good sign that your main championship is the first match.
I think the only time that I can think of would be like COVID era.
This like take specifically is about like the WWE title being defended. Like if he's just there in like a tag match or whatever, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But I feel like it's a dead giveaway when you're starting the show on a world title defense.
They're either losing it or no one cares.
Right. Like the only time, like the biggest one that I can remember is when Brock Lesnar didn't want to wait to the main event to lose the Universal title.
Yep.
So they just made that the first match and Seth won it.
Yeah.
Like that's not cool. To wrap up the Saturday Night Main Event stuff too, the take that I have, like they rectified the Jade Cargill. So I would have expected her to win it on that last SmackDown, but she obviously was brutally injured by Nia Jax. And then this kind of does that. I don't really care about the match. The match was whatever.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the frustrating thing. Like, they could have done something to make that match entertaining, but like they didn't even have a single reversal. It literally was just Jade Cargill fucking slamming somebody on the ground over and over again.
It was finisher spam.
I was frustrated by that. There weren't even feats of strength. Yeah, it wasn't even like Tiffy jumping off the top rope and Jade catching her. I would have enjoyed that. They didn't even have that shit.
I feel like this is Cena versus Lesnar, like that match.
Yeah.
But no star power. Like at least
Yep.
Cena and Lesnar are names.
They just took two people and they were like, just do your finisher over and over and over again. And then the only good match was Dom retaining.
Oh, that was so good.
Absolutely. I think that was the only thing that, if you want to say this pay-per-view was anything, if it's anything positive, it was from that match.
100%. Very enjoyable.
I'm ringing the ring bell to make Rusev think that he won that championship, though. One of the coolest things ever. Absolutely amazing.
You can fast forward. I'll spare you the time to look forward. It's the third match in. There's only 4 matches on the card because, you know, WWE cares so much about its audience that they wanted to make sure they gave you tons and tons of wrestling for their 2-hour show.
I don't have too much else this week. I think the biggest thing is that they officially announced the tournament to see who will fight Cena in his last match. And I think that's something we've been talking about.
My vote's for the Hurricane.
The Hurricane's going to win?
Hurricane, final opponent.
I will be brutally honest and just say I don't think so.
Ron Cena, my fan cast.
But the rumors for who's expected to be in the tournament, because they haven't officially announced anyone at this moment.
Except for the 4 people that have the first round matchup.
Oh, who did they already announce then?
Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev versus Damian Priest.
So we have those 4. I think all 4 of those guys are good guys to have in the tournament that aren't necessarily caught up in big stories or anything. And you still get to showcase their abilities. Plus, like, obviously, I still don't expect anyone of those 4 to win. The other speculated opponents that could face Cena is, what is it, Ilya Dragunov, Drew McIntyre, Penta. Breaker made the list, but he probably won't be in it just because story stuff. LA Knight would be a cool one. Carmelo
Same idea,
Hayes,
though.
The Miz, LA Knight, we haven't seen LA Knight. He wasn't even on Raw, right?
No, not this last week.
That's a shame. Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Obafemi would be fucking awesome. Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy,
Micro Man.
and then I mean, Microman would be cool as fuck. I think that would be amazing. But ultimately, the one that everybody wants is Edge, right? They even tease people that aren't necessarily from WWE. I still am unsure if we could see Edge. I do think that it would be more like, oh, somebody not from this company. Here's Matt Cardona. Like, that's how
Wait,
I expect it to be.
Mr. Iguana.
Mr. Iguana would be cool. I mean, not as like the winner of the whole tournament. That'd be fucking insane.
I'm so excited Cope is going to be in the match.
If Edge is in it, the
Cope.
only solid evidence I have for it, besides everybody wanting that to be the thing, WWE did just release Cena versus Edge, the rivalry history. That kind of seems like a red flag that it seems possible to me for the first time ever through WWE. I don't know if I'd still expect it.
He disappeared, and Survivor Series is right around the corner.
Yeah.
He did disappear.
Hang on, if he's in the tournament, then they have to have him for more than just one match too, though, now that I'm thinking about it. That seems more unlikely, right?
So first round, second round, third, final, yeah.
Either way, it's more than one match. The more matches there are, the more unlikely I believe it to be Edge, right?
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thought, and I don't think, as much as people are talking about this, I don't know if anybody's talked about that part about it specifically, because then you do have to kind of spoil, like, oh shit, it's Edge. Like, Edge is in the tournament, and if he's in the tournament, it has to be Edge.
Unless they just set the tournament up like fucking weird. It's like a bye for the first.
That'd be so brutal, just to be like, I don't know who the fuck that's gonna be, but clearly they're gonna win. You know, like just watching the bye to the final. Personally, I do think either way, even if Edge shows up for one match, which I could think is possible at this point, it's gonna be Gunther. It's USA versus not USA in Washington, with John Cena being, you know.
I'd watch that. Rocky 3. Let's do it. Ian, do you wanna hear what you missed?
Yeah, how did AEW start?
Fucking AEW was goddamn fire. Started off with goddamn a 7-minute intro, which is announcing the main event, which is great. But I don't really care about stuff like that. I'm gonna give you the list of things that I care about. Number 1, we had a hot grandma wearing a Canadian tuxedo that was clearly an Orange Cassidy fan. We had a gunshot of a slap. My God. Castagnoli slapped Orange Cassidy so hard it echoed through the entire chamber. Castagnoli got Orange Cassidy in a big swing, and he sold the shit out of it. And Orange Cassidy was doing his hands in the pockets thing, but the second of the 3 times he got his hands in his pocket, Castagnoli reversed it with a gut wrench that was incredible to watch, dude.
That's how it started?
Yeah.
God damn, that's a match.
And I got on my little piece of paper here. It was absolutely 12 minutes in heaven, because it was about 12 minutes that first match.
I wrote down 12-minute masterclass between Orange Cassidy and
Yeah.
Claudio.
That's legit.
Yeah, Joe and I were talking about it, and I think that was the best match that I've seen Castagnoli perform.
Yeah, he hasn't had too many, right?
That I've ever seen anyway.
Cooler one was they had an octopus hold. Orange Cassidy had Claudio in an octopus hold, and then Claudio took his hand and yanked his fingers apart like Pete Dunne finger manipulation style.
Yeah.
But as Cassidy was falling, he caught his legs and turned it into the big swing. And then just started big swinging him and threw him out of the ring.
All right, AEW's over. The only other thing we have to talk about, besides your promo, Brett, of course, Raw versus AEW.
You know, I was actually thinking about something. I was a loser, and I was laughing at my own jokes listening to the podcast this week. And although tight, I feel like the show was tight. This week's last podcast was really, really good, and I love you guys. You're both super great. But I've got something to say, and here, like, every week we talk about Dynamite versus Raw, right? Which one is better? But that's wrong. So bear with me while I tell you why. So it struck me that every week we talk about, for example, Roxanne Perez can't wrestle to the best of her ability. And this week we spoke about how we've never seen Sheamus do a front flip despite being in like the highest, most publicized tier of wrestling. Well, he's never done it, and now he finally did it, right? And it's not like Roxanne is bad, right? And it's not like Sheamus can't do a Spanish fly. So I'm wondering if you guys can see where I'm going with this. It's not that it's not which one is better. It's not AEW is better than Raw or it's which one is the heel and which one is the babyface. You see,
Oh, between Raw or AEW?
yeah, you see, Triple H defined that a heel is someone who takes and someone who doesn't let you, the fan, have what you want. No finishers, no intros. Like, like through the whole Cena arc, right? They were cutting out all of the iconic Cena intro. On top of that, every week we talk about how much better WWE would have been if this or that had happened. Or I'm like, for example, I'm going to my grave that the handling of El Grande has been an absolute botch. They push wrestlers that have no charisma, and they genuinely put good people on the injury list. Shout out to Tripp. He's doing a great job, And on the other side, speaking purely for myself, AEW spoon feeds me content I didn't even know I wanted. Everyone wants an inflamed hemorrhoid to show paintings of himself with sculpted abs, and we know he doesn't have them. And everyone wants to see an apathetic redhead whose name really doesn't make any sense put his hands in his pockets. Everybody wants Darby with a flamethrower, right? AEW shows me that, like, I want the fork, even though I know I don't want the fork. As an entire show, I get to watch Dynamite with the fresh and sparkling eyes of an unsuspecting Mark. And every week I watch Raw, and I just get closer to becoming a curmudgeonly, jaded Smark. So I give to you guys. It's not really which is better, but who is the baby face and who is the heel of the week? Because let's be honest, would Dynamite be as good as it is if we didn't have Raw to compare it against? And would WWE be as good as it is if it didn't do an infrequent face turn? So you can see where I sit on this. And now, Sharks, you've heard my pitch. I think it's time we discuss if we change over from good or bad to babyface and heel.
See, I like that thought. And everything you said, I absolutely loved. And I think you brought up a lot of really good points.
But no.
No, I'm not saying no, but hear me out. If we look at it that way, I think AEW will always be the face. Even on the weeks that we think Raw is better, I still think that we would consider AEW as a face company or a face like product to watch. But I really like that idea. Like that line of thought makes a lot of sense. And also like I think it's interesting to call a show like a face or a heel.
So it's interesting. Your exact thought line is what made me think about this, right? Because I kind of feel like, I don't know how to say it. When Raw wins, it's because they become the face. They give us everything that we want. Say, we've been waiting for Seth Rollins to disappear, and he finally did. And we had that absolute banger of a match with Rhea Ripley and the Kabuki Warrior as a start off. Man, that was an ill show. And I think that was like the face turn. That's when Raw was like, listen, we're gonna bury all of our villains, and we're just gonna give you everything that these incredible wrestlers can do. We're just gonna give it to you, right? Because it's not that they did a better job. It's because they decided that now is the time to give you the face that they know they have in the background.
I don't disagree with the way that you're thinking about it, but you can't. It just doesn't work that way.
Oh, nuts. Oh, well.
I think it would end up being kind of the same thing we've been doing. We're just changing the exact word that we would call it.
Absolutely, and it's a wrestling word.
I like that.
It's one of those, we're not deciding on whether something's a face or a heel. It's because that's the thing is they don't change. It's whether the show is good or bad.
AEW has been so good. How do I talk about anything else other than AEW?
For Raw versus AEW, not only am I ready to say it's AEW, but I'm also ready to say next week too. Like, there's no question AEW next week will be better than Raw.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
of just blood
dude,
and guts.
it's blood and guts Wednesday?
Yeah.
Come on.
Raw has no chance.
No chance.
Oh, yeah, next week? Absolutely not.
Right. So, like, as much as, like, we can go over Raw or whatever, but Dominic Mysterio was the best thing on Raw again, and it was just like Rey Mysterio came back.
Right.
I liked Penta and El Grande.
Yeah, that was good.
There's a lot of good promos on Raw. That's something I can give it credit to.
There was a lot of good matches.
But compared to AEW,
Not enough.
AEW is so
right.
good.
And even so, I think the one crowning achievement, and I think I was already gonna pick AEW before even seeing AEW, was because with all the people we watch Raw with, that I'm thankful that I even give a shit that would like to watch wrestling with us. Everyone left before the main event, and I don't blame them. I blame Raw for not having a good enough show.
Yeah, just not having a good enough main event for them to care.
I could
Yeah.
not care. I couldn't. It was a 30-minute intro to something that I know I wasn't going to care about.
25 minutes, 25-minute intro with Punk that was interrupted, that set up into a that didn't even set up into a match after that 30 minutes. You didn't find out until hour and 30 minutes into the show that the main event was going to be Jay and CM Punk versus the Vision.
So random, right? So friggin' random. Maybe Logan Paul's injured and then he wasn't cleared specifically, but he still got involved later. So I don't fucking know. It seemed like a weird decision. And as much as the twist at the end with Paul seemingly joining the Vision, I think that's just gear up for War Games. You know, they're going to need a full team. Just put Logan Paul on the bad guy team. Call it a day. And that's all Raw was. And that's not enough for me to appreciate it.
No, that's not storytelling. That's not, you're not laying anything out. You're not making me go, "Oh my god, like you blindsided me. You took this great character and you made him a bad guy." No, you made a
Yeah.
bad guy join another group of bad guys.
You had a bad guy make a bad guy turn. What the fuck? I missed the beginning of AEW, but you guys are so excited to tell me, and I'm so excited to hear it too, and it sounds amazing. Like, I'm very excited again this week to go back and watch the beginning. Can't wait for Sexy Grandma.
She's only there for like 2.5, like 1 second, but it just
Well-
feels real good.
Hey, I'll be able to pause it. I like what you're saying, where like maybe there is something else that we can do as far as like figuring out a way that isn't just Raw versus AEW. Even though I have been very surprised that Raw hasn't just been absolutely landslided every single week.
Yeah, they're not rolling over. They're definitely not rolling over. They're not just phoning it in every week, which I at least appreciate that much. But like, they're not trying, right? It's not just
It
me.
definitely feels that way.
At the very least, we have to establish that WWE absolutely, like the corporation WWE is the heel and AEW is the baby face.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
Week after week, they're just not showing us what their cast can do. You know, they're just not doing it.
No.
I agree with that statement, but also I think that they just can't do it right. Like, that's mostly what it feels like for me, is that
But why can't, right? Because by now it feels like a decision.
I mean, that would probably be better for them to make people think that way. Because there's definitely like, for example, no LA Knight on Raw. That's one of the biggest draws you have in I don't know how long, who's consistently on fire, and he was doing his promos. Like, the only negative thing I could say is that sometimes he stumbles in promos, and he was doing perfectly, and to no fault of his own, seems like he's just disappeared.
Wasn't on the episode at all.
He doesn't stumble over his promos as often as goddamn Adam Page does. Adam Page stumbles on his promos every fucking week.
You can kind of get by a little bit more in AEW, I think, in that way. Maybe I'm holding a higher standard to the promo, but still, even with him stumbling, I was all about LA Knight.
I hold a
Yeah.
higher standard to the promo on WWE just for the sole fact that the whole show is based around the promo and not
That's
the
fair.
wrestling. and that's just because the wrestling for WWE is meant to be extremely safe so that they can do it forever. So,
Yeah.
like, to give you an idea, Grayson Waller took that Mexican destroyer off the top rope or whatever with Penta.
Yep. Yep.
And he got yelled at when he made
Yeah.
it back behind the counter or behind the curtain and stuff because it was an unnecessary risk.
He like that.
Yep.
Penta literally got yelled at.
Not Penta. Grayson for taking it.
Grayson for agreeing to it. Not because Penta wanted to do it, because Penta can, and he's, one of the safer wrestlers to do that stuff with.
I think it might have even been Waller's idea to take it off from the ropes.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, could we do it off the ropes instead?"
Yeah, which is crazy. And I think I had a huge pop when I watched that. I was like, "Are you fucking shitting me?" Like, I could not believe they even did that.
Yeah,
And that's
it was
probably one of
awesome.
the coolest things we will see on a Raw in a long time, as far as wrestling goes.
Yeah, because they're not allowed to do stuff like that.
Right. Which I get it, but you can still put on a good match and do that. Like, I'll always bring up the example of Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, whatever the first one was. One of the most unbelievable matches, but there's definitely some unsafe spots there, but it's still a WWE style wrestling match, and it's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. Probably the greatest match in my entire life that I've ever seen.
Really, that one?
I think so.
Is that true with hindsight? If you watched it right now, would that be true?
I'm not sure about that, but it is a match that I would 100% rewatch any day of the week if I want to say about the 30 minutes that the match takes.
That's not the first match I'd go back to.
That's the one that always sticks out for me. What match do you have in your mind?
Undertaker Mankind.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
I stand corrected. You're right. I'm wrong.
No, that's still that's a fantastic one, but I definitely that was a little bit before my time as far as watching it live.
No, I'm going back to watch any match. That one.
That's
Every
a very
time.
good one. I'm not saying that's wrong at all, but I definitely like the Undertaker Shawn Michaels, the first one specifically.
So what you're saying is that the Undertaker is really, really good. You guys are both Undertaker matches.
Undefeated at WrestleMania for 21 straight WrestleManias.
Yeah.
They give the example of like a football team going to the Super Bowl every year for 21 straight years and winning the Super Bowl is Undertaker's streak, which is pretty exaggerated, but still an insane accomplishment. Like, nobody else will be able to do that. All right, that's really all I had to. But well, I guess I know I definitely pick AEW. What are you guys thinking?
AEW was goddamn a boiling pot of delicious stew. Ugh, it was beautiful today.
Raw fought. Raw swung, came out swinging. And by that I mean like it tried to put me to sleep for the first 30 minutes. And then it kind of got better. No, it didn't. It fucking was awful. 33 minutes in, and we had a fucking Nikki Bella match as the very first amount of wrestling you get to watch.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no, thank
God.
you. I'm sorry. That alone is enough for me to be like AEW. Sorry, you win.
Bro, you tried to pull your contrarian stuff so hard and just couldn't do it. Goddamn.
It's just I'm looking at these notes and it's just like literally I have notes in here that says why Nikki ... literally anyone else ... That's a literal note I wrote.
I'm so mad that Nikki Bella is hitched to Stephanie Vicaire. I'm furious. I would take literally any wrestler.
We talked about it last time, and I really kind of want the gimmick to happen where Stephanie Vicaire's own music plays and it pumps her up and she just stands up and beats whoever she's fighting instead of having someone come out and save her. Like
To put a bow on this segment, let's ask this question. Do you think AEW won or do you think Raw lost?
I think Raw lost.
AEW was so good today, though.
I think Raw lost so hard this week. Not even so much that AEW won, because AEW did a great job this week.
Right.
It had a good show, but it was an average show. I wouldn't say like, oh my god, you need to go and watch this AEW. It's a go home. It's like, hey, this is a setup for next week. Just so you know, next week is blood and guts. Don't fucking miss next week. Next week's gonna be great. So average show, cool, awesome. With that being said, Raw was so bad that like. I can't even say go back and watch any segment. Like
No.
the best part of Raw you could probably watch in a 30-second clip online.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true.
Joe, I've never heard you this passionate about how bad Raw was in a
It hasn't been this bad.
I love you, man.
It hasn't been this bad. I always try to play devil's advocate, and
I
like
know.
for both sides. And like this week, I fucking can't. Like Raw was just, oh, it
Go
hurts.
off.
It just hurts so bad. I didn't think it could get worse with Seth gone.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's another reason why Raw was so bad. I came in with such high hopes that we weren't going to get a 30-minute BS promo from somebody I hate. And they gave me a 30-minute BS promo from somebody I hate.
Crazy. Next man up.
I didn't know they were just going to give me the other brunette who is kind of edgy.
Well, straight edge.
They both have edges.
Well, no, there's no edge in WWE.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's Cope now.
Next Friday, NCW has an event or a wrestling event in Manchester, New Hampshire, where Hacky Jack is in a 6-man tag match.
Hacky
That's
Jack.
Not
Hacky
next
Jack.
Friday. It's the Friday after, right?
Yeah.
No,
so
you're right. It's yeah.
next Friday.
Yep. Gotcha.
Not the day that this releases, but
Right.
the 7 days from this announcement next Friday.
I'm excited for the winter because I get a little bit of extra OT time and I always get some nice time off for the Christmas.
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, fucking cram it down my throat much? What even is Christmas these days? The season where fucking corpo rats guilt us into buying planned obsolescence plastic and silicone dreck for your friends and family? Or else the Coca-Cola wizard will give you a few lumps of obsolete fuel source? Oh no! We're all buying what we really want for ourselves because we live in an economy anyway. I mean, and God forbid someone gives you the gift of something that you think they need, but they don't know they need, and they'll just take it as an insult, or they won't even use it on principle. But seriously, check out Darn Tough socks. They're fabulous. Everybody should put those on. It's wonderful. I mean, Christmas used to be about getting together with family, but every year, Christmas decorations come out polluting our eyes with sterile white, plastic green, and blood red for the blood god. Ugh. Right? But whatever happened to celebrating the end of the harvest and whatever happened to be with the people special to you, whatever happened to going out to your community in time-honored traditions of like picking apples fresh off the tree and going straight home to teach the younglings how to bake them pie. What about being able to decorate your home with the vibrant oranges and browns and yellows and reds of the wonderful nature around us, especially here in New England? Guys, we've lost sight of the true meaning of Christmas. And now Chris Corporate is trying to steal Thanksgiving too. Thanksgiving, where the only gift you give is the time you spend with others and the top button of your pants as you assert your dominance over the entire food chain in any way you see fit. I mean, I'll give it to you that Saint Rich can throw a good party, and I sure like giving gifts, but the holiday season only works after you let slip to your uncle that the YouTube video he's showing everyone about how 9/11 was an inside job is actually just an AI clickbait from North Korea. Or when you've made a game out of who can make your stuffy grandma have the biggest pearl clutching reaction. And that only happens at the Thanksgiving table. And it's only after the shame of what what you've done has set in can the true spirit of Christmas crack open our cold, empty bank accounts. And that's my promo. I felt pretty good about that one too.
Yo, dude, you had me quite a few times, but I thought it was funny that you were talking about the stupid dumb plastic things and you said Coke. I literally like I'm next to a bunch of 3D printed like plastic things that I just did while I'm drinking a Coke.
Dude, the Coke. I felt really really good about the Coca-Cola wizard. And you know that Santa, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Saint Nick used to be a tall, slender man. He's like a fucking starving mid-century, like, or not mid-century, but like, old European dude.
Sure.
Coke was doing their branding.
Ah, and that's why he's fat.
They made him a big, fat, jolly guy. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why he's the
Interesting.
Coca-Cola wizard.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I felt really good about that. I felt really good about the imagery with the sterile white plastic green blood for the blood god. Maybe the blood for the blood god part wasn't good, but the
I liked
sterile
it.
white and plastic
I was
green.
laughing. And that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Pick the Push. Ferg's getting ready for Full Gear. Blue Ghost is talking big, and Brett somehow managed to cut 2 promos without breaking a sweat, which honestly feels unfair to the rest of us. Next week, we are watching Blood and Guts on AEW Dynamite. Good luck Raw next week, and we hear from a very, very, very special guest, what we have on for the first time ever. Until then, hop into the Discord. We'll be hanging out, talking predictions, and probably arguing. We'll see you next week. Peace.